prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing before he dies. Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, but my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing. His mother said to him, my son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me. So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food, just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the goat skins. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, my father. Yes, my son, he answered. Who is it? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat of my game, so that you may give me your blessing. Isaac asked his son, how did you find it so quickly, my son? Kind of like Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. The Lord your God gave me success, he replied. And Isaac said to Jacob, come near, so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not. Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau, so he proceeded to bless him. Are you really my son Esau, he asked. I am, he replied. Then he said, my son, bring me some of your game to eat, so that I may give you my blessing. Jacob brought it to him, and he ate. And he brought some wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, come here, my son, and kiss me. And he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you heaven's dew and earth's richness, and abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. May you be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed. After Isaac finished blessing him, Jacob had scarcely left his father's presence, just left. His brother Esau came in from hunting. They just missed one another. He too prepared some tasty fruit and brought it to his father. Then he said to him, my father, please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me some of your blessing. His father asked him, who are you? I am your son, he answered, your firstborn, Esau. Isaac trembled violently. You can't get any more violent than this, any more trembling than this. He's trembling violently and said, who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me? I ate it just before you came, and I blessed him. Indeed, he will be blessed. When Esau heard his father's voice, he burst out with a loud and bitter cry and said to his father, bless me too, my father. But he said, your brother came deceitfully and took your blessing. Esau said, isn't he rightly named Jacob? This is the second time he has taken advantage of me. He took my birthright, and now he's taking my blessing. Then he asked, but haven't you reserved any blessing for me? Isaac answered Esau, I have made him lord of you, and have made all his relatives his servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. So what can I possibly do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, do you have only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, my father. Then Esau wept aloud. His father Isaac answered him, your dwelling will be away from the earth's richness, away from the dew of the heaven above. You will live by the sword, and you will serve your brother, opposite of the blessing he gave to Jacob. But when you grow restless, you will throw his yoke off from your neck. Esau held a grudge against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. He said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. When Rebekah was told what her older son Esau had said, she sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, your brother Esau is planning to avenge himself by killing you. Now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him for a while until your brother's fury subsides. When your brother is no longer angry with you, it shouldn't take long, and forgets what you did to him, I'll send word for you and to come back from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day? Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I am disgusted with living because of these Hittite women. If Jacob takes a wife from among the women of this land, from the Hittite women like these, my life will not be worth living. Let's pray. Oh Lord, there's a powerful message here that reveals you. You conferred some blessings immediately, just by being born first. Okay, you have no control of that, but you are already blessed the moment you are born first, right? You have a double share of the inheritance from your father. Not only that, you are generally respected and held in high esteem and honor in the family because you represent your father's strength and power, right? And among other things, okay? So Esau, just before, right when he was born, he was already in a blessed position. Not only that, Esau was his father's favorite son. In a patriarchy, Isaac's the leader. And Isaac loves Esau, right? He's his favorite guy, right? Because Esau can cook him his favorite food, right? Cooking his favorite food. Last week, if you were here, right, Pastor Dan showed us how Isaac is like a great role model of prayer. He's spiritually discerning God and stuff like that, which is awesome. Here, with many things in the Bible, the physical is a reflection of the spiritual. So it notes here that Isaac's vision had dulled. Similarly, it seems like his spiritual vision has dulled as well. Isaac didn't even, you notice, right? Throughout the entire scheme, when Jacob's with him trying to get the blessing, Isaac is relying on what? Not his spiritual senses, his physical senses, to discern who he should give the blessings to. So he is almost totally reliant on his physical, natural appetites. He's driven by them. And that leads him to favor his older son because he can cook him the food that he likes. So by all intents and purposes, Esau is already blessed. The moment he's born, he is already blessed. However, God did not choose to bless Esau. He chose to bless Jacob instead. You know, we naturally, as human beings, we naturally value certain traits over others. Right? Just naturally. Like, for example, you know, could be many things, like being tall, being eloquent, charismatic, being rich, having a good position in your company, or whatever it is, being popular, or whatever it is, being beautiful, handsome. There are many of these traits that oftentimes you have no control over. Like, for example, you have no control over how tall you will be, right? Yet we often can think that, oh, if only I am this, I will be blessed. I will have a good life. When I was young, maybe in primary school, my friends and I really wanted, for some reason, to have big feet. I have no idea why. I think it's because like basketball players have big feet and because they're tall. Well, I don't know. But we really wanted to have big feet. So when one of my friends came in with like size 10 shoes, we were just losing our minds, going, "You have size 10 shoes? That's amazing!" And I wanted so badly for my small feet to grow that I would get my parents to buy me bigger size shoes than I could actually fit. Just so that I could boast my friends, "Hey man, look at me, I'm size 9 shoes, man." And they would lose their minds and go, "Whoa, you go 2 sizes up from this today, that's amazing." I wanted it so bad because that's what we value. That's what we thought that, for some strange reason, that's what having an awesome life looked like. We naturally want to be all these things: charismatic, influential, eloquent, richer, respecting one of our peers, whatever it is. And we think that these will draw people's favor. This will lead to a blessed life, a better life. But what we see through the story of Jacob is that God doesn't really care about that. Those things that draw human favor do not draw God's favor. In fact, it's the opposite oftentimes. Oftentimes what we see in the Bible is God choosing those who we would reject, those who we would ignore and despise, and he elevates them. He elevates the weak, the poor, the rejected in society, and he brings them up and uses them to be a conduit of his blessings to those around them. I mean, think about the story of King David, how he was appointed king, right? The prophet Samuel goes to the house of Jesse, his father, and he's searching for the next king. And Jesse is parading son after son after son in front of Samuel, and each son is like kingly material. They're like huge, they're tall, they're handsome, they're charming, and Samuel's going, "Yes, this looks like the next king of Israel. I would serve this guy." And God is going, "No, no, no. right? You're looking at outward appearance. I'm looking at the heart. And God instead chooses the forgotten son, the rejected son, the son that the father didn't even think of bringing in, King David, and he brings him in, and God goes, this is the guy. This is the guy. That's how God works. That's how God, that's why in the Beatitudes, the famous Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says what? The whole sermon is about what living life God's way is like. And he begins it by doing what? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek and gentle. Jesus is redefining what it means to be blessed. It's not based on what the world values. It's not based on what even you value. God is looking beyond that. He's looking beyond that. His favor bypasses. God's blessings bypasses any birth order, how you were born, or human favor. And it goes straight to the heart. Straight to the heart. And this is why it's so important. Because when we fail to recognize how God's blessings work, we end up trying to fight, scheme, and take the blessings for ourselves. And that's what we see every character doing here. This brings me to my second point. Blessings are given, not taken. Blessings are given, not taken. When we watch a show or read a story, naturally we try to find the protagonist. There'll always be a protagonist in the story, a hero of the story that we kind of root for, that we're relating to, right? Now here's the beauty of the story we just read. There is no hero in this story. Every single character in this story is messed up. There is no role model, there's no one to root for. Every single character fails to some degree, shape, or form. For example, Isaac. What did he do wrong? Actually, Isaac was so mean. In that culture, right, I think it was cultural convention for the patriarch, when he was about to die, to call all his sons together to bless them. What do you see? And we see that happening with Jacob, right, in Genesis 49. When he's about to die, he calls all his sons together and blesses all. Now, what do you see Isaac do? He only calls for Esau. How about Jacob? Not called. Meaning that it's very likely that Isaac only intended to bless Esau and not Jacob at all. That's favoritism gone to madness, right? He wasn't just, I just like my son Esau. It's like he hated Jacob for some reason. He didn't want to bless him at all. But not only that, in Genesis 25, which we were at last week, when the boys before they were born, they were jostling in the womb of the mother, and Rebecca went to inquire of the Lord what was happening. And it's very likely, very possible that she went to Isaac to inquire of the Lord. And it might have been through Isaac, even if it wasn't, Isaac would have known about it, that the older would serve the younger. He knew that was God's will. If he knew that was God's will, why is he deliberately going around that and blessing Esau instead of Jacob? Isaac is deliberately violating what he knows is God's will for these two sons. Isaac is trying to take control of the blessing for himself and give it to the son that he loves. You getting this? Isaac's in the wrong. He's messed up. Knowing that Esau's in the wrong too. Poor Esau. Why is he messed up? What did he do wrong? Well, again, if you remember last week, or if you just read in your Bibles just the passage before chapter 27, you'll see that Esau has just sold his birthright to Jacob. Meaning that the firstborn blessings belong to Jacob, not to Esau. So what he should have done, when Isaac is calling him to bless him, he should have gone, hang on a second, Father, I just sold my blessings to my brother Jacob. Let's bring him along too, right? But what does he do? He pretends that nothing's happened. Like, sure, I'll take the blessing. You've just forgotten that your verbal contract with your brother, right? So Esau's messed up too. Rebecca, what did Rebecca do wrong? Well, this is kind of an interesting thing, because the clues in the story kind of show us how we're meant to interpret Rebecca's actions. Rebecca might seem like she's justifiable in what she's doing. But notice what happens after all this has happened. You'll notice as well that, I'm not sure if you picked up as we read the story, but Rebecca is the primary driver of everything that's going on. Rebecca is the one that's telling Jacob, hey, listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. 3 times, Rebecca goes, hey, listen to my voice, listen to what I say. Just do it, Jacob. She's the one driving it, right? She's the puppet master. And listen to how the story ends, right? So Esau gets really angry, so much so that he wants to kill his brother Jacob. So family conflict ensues because of what has happened. Then, in an effort to save her beloved son Jacob, she sends him away, right? And she expects him to come back soon. She doesn't expect it to be a long trip. Quick one, and I'll call you back. What we end up seeing, though, is that Jacob is away, not for a few months, he's away for 20 years. By the time he gets back to this home country, to his hometown, he only meets his father, Isaac. There's no mention of Rebecca. Meaning that this is the last time Rebecca will ever see her beloved son, Jacob. In an effort to save her beloved son, she ends up losing her beloved son forever. The story wants to show us that, hey, what Rebecca did was not right. She did not trust in the providence of God to fulfill his will. What about Jacob? Well, Jacob was the one that did the deed, right? He is the one that actually stole it for himself. He took it through deception. Not only that did he lie to his father, he cheated and deceived and schemed his way toward the blessing. And it shows us that he ends up losing his family. Not only that, in the stories that follow, what we'll see is when he meets Laban, Laban's also a cheater. He's also a deceiver. So Jacob, the deceiver, also gets deceived. It's like he reaps what he sows, right? So what we see here is that every single character is messed up. There's no heroes in this story. See, there are no heroes when we fight over that which is good. When we fight over, the blessings were meant to be a good thing. A good thing. Blessings are a good thing. But when we fight over them, we end up tearing one another apart. It only results in conflict and pain. Now, here's the thing. When we fight and strive to obtain the blessed life, whatever this blessed life looks like to you, whatever picture you have in your head, we might indeed experience the blessings, but at great cost. For example, the characters in our story. Rebecca tries to give the blessings to her favorite son, Jacob, but ends up losing her favorite son. Jacob gets the blessings of the firstborn, true, but in so doing loses his family. I mean, think about how many people had devoted their lives to their family, worked hard to provide for their family so that their family would want for nothing, so that kids will have the best education, the best this, best that. They will never lack any experience. They will live in comfort and luxury, yet in so doing, lose their family. They work so hard that they're strangers in their own home. How many people have had kids and devoted their entire life to their kids? After all, kids are a blessing. Kids are a blessing from the Lord. But parents end up funneling all the energy and attention into their kids that they end up destroying their marriage in the process. How many people do we know? How many stories do we have to read about celebrity, about famous person that has achieved everything that we think should bring them happiness, fame, wealth, success, right? And yet live lonely, unfulfilled lives. When we strive and fight for the blessings, we are trying to take for ourselves and by ourselves what should only be given by God. Because blessings are meant to be given by God, not taken by ourselves. So the key question then is, okay, if that is the case, then how can we be blessed? How can we be blessed? Now, I'll be honest, I've really struggled to answer my own question. Really struggled with it. Because you know what I wanted to say? I wanted to say that, hey, don't need to fight for blessings because it's enough blessings for everyone. God's not so stingy that he would only bless one person over another. What they did was misunderstood the blessings. Right? You notice here that everyone treats the blessings like a gold medal. It's like Lord of the Rings, the one ring, my precious. Right? Everyone's just like, I just want this one thing. And if you have it, then I can't have it. Right? And then misunderstanding it. Because really, God's a generous God. He'll bless you, he'll bless you. You get a blessing, you get a blessing. Everybody gets a blessing. That's what I wanted to say. But as I thought about it, being blessed in this context, in the passage, is not just about being successful, fruitful, and all that stuff. I mean, that's included for sure, but that's not really what it's about. The reason why I say that is because Jacob prospers, he's fruitful, he is successful, yes. But so is Esau. Esau also ends up successful. He also ends up to become a great nation. This is not about, oh, Jacob's blessed, therefore Esau's cursed. That's not what happens. Right? Esau's also blessed. When Jacob eventually meets Esau again, he tries to send a gift to Esau, and Esau tells him, I have plenty, my brother. I'm good. I've been really successful. I have enough. So Esau also had a successful, fruitful life. So the blessings here are not just about being successful, fruitful, famous, or whatever it is that we have in our head. The blessings here. Now, so when we read Genesis 28, we will see that Isaac gives Jacob another blessing. Blessing number 2. And if we put blessing number 2 with blessing number 1 in Genesis 27, when you read it together, it very closely resembles the Abrahamic blessings, meaning the blessings given to Abraham's grandfather in Genesis 12. Now, I'm not going to read it out and compare and contrast the two. The only reason why I bring that up is because it shows us something very important. That the blessings given to Jacob were not simply about being successful. They were about being God's vehicle to reveal himself personally to Jacob and through Jacob. That's what being blessed was. Having the blessings given by God in this specific context was about being a vehicle of God's revelation to the world. Then, you get what I'm saying? Okay, so, for example, Abraham had 2 sons. Well, he had more sons. But his 2 first sons were Ishmael and Isaac. Now, Ishmael also grew into a great nation. He was very successful. So was Isaac. Right? But Isaac was the chosen, blessed son. Why? What did that mean? It meant that God had chosen Isaac to be the vehicle through which he would personally reveal himself to Isaac, and through Isaac, so others can be blessed. So others can see who God is. You getting this? So similar with Esau and Jacob. It's not that Esau was a loser and Jacob was a winner. It's Jacob is the chosen vehicle through which God is going to reveal himself through. That's what it means. Therefore, we need to reframe how we interpret blessings. Because being blessed, you can be rich, famous, successful, by all natural measures, yet not be blessed in God's eyes. Being blessed, specifically here, is not about being rich, successful, and all that stuff. It's about being part of God's work and plan in the world to reveal himself personally to you and through you to others. That's what being blessed means. Does that mean that there's no peace in that? No, of course there's peace in that. There's joy in that. There's great fulfillment to be found in that way of living. Of course there is. However, when we search for these things on our terms, our way, when we try to define them for ourselves and take it for ourselves, it only results in pain, conflict, and destruction. But when we do it God's way, it's not earned. We don't need to strive for it. It's simply received. It's simply given by God. This story shows us something very important. Ultimately, it is showing us that blessings are only found in one place. Blessings are only found in one place. There's only one chosen son. Now, what do you think this is pointing to? What do you think this is pointing to? The one son, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is ultimately pointing us to, is a pale reflection of the gospel truth, of the good news that, yes, there is one chosen son. There is one firstborn of God who is going to come, and he is going to, even though he has all blessing, he has the rights of the firstborn, he has all blessings from the Father, but he is going to intentionally lay that all down and take the curse that is upon us all so that we could receive the blessings that are really his. And that person is Jesus. Jesus is the firstborn son. Jacob is pointing us to Jesus, and Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. Therefore, how can we be blessed? One place, one way, through Jesus. Through Jesus. As it says in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 3, all praise to God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who has blessed us with every spiritual blessing in the heavenly realms, because we are united with Christ. So who here is united with Christ? Who here believes in Jesus? Raise your hand nice and high. If you are united with Christ, you believe in Jesus, you follow him, you are blessed. You are blessed. Doesn't matter how rich you are, you're already blessed. Why? Why? You didn't do anything to deserve that. You didn't earn it. You didn't do anything to deserve it. You simply receive it. Because you are in Jesus. Because you are with the chosen Son. You are with the firstborn of God. And he gives you his blessings abundantly. All we need to do is follow him. Follow his way of living. And when we follow his way of living, we will truly find freedom. Freedom that's not a blessed life, the truly good life. As it says in John 10:10, the thief only comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I, Jesus, have come to give life, and life abundantly. True joy, peace, fulfillment, the things that we so search for in all this other stuff. Career, grades, popularity, influence. Right? All these things that we think will fulfill us, that will give us joy. We think that these are the keys. These are the keys to a good life. They're not. There's one key. There's one key. Jesus. And if you find that key, you stay close to Jesus, then you will receive blessings as you live your life. Do you believe that? If you believe it, then here's the challenge. Jesus says in Luke 9:24-25, if you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. What do you benefit if you gain the whole world but are yourself lost or destroyed? How do you remain as a regular receiver of the divine blessings of God? We need to lay down our lives to him. That's what it will cost you. That's what it will cost you. And in very practical terms, in terms of what we're talking about today. Now, when I began the message, I asked you, who's blessed? And there must have been an image in your head of what blessed life looks like. This is what a good life looks like to me. Are you willing to lay that down before God? And allow him to define what blessings look like for you? I don't know what that is for you. It could be a good career. It could be the ideal future. I remember thinking when I was younger, I am going to study, ace my studies. I'm going to get a fantastic job. And then I'm going to find a girlfriend. We're going to get married. And then we're going to have kids before 30. Yes, that's my ideal future. Are you willing to surrender your ideal future to God? You know, something that I've realized recently is that one of the things that I need to lay down is how success looks like for my kids. I never realized that I was this kind of parent, but I really want my kids to excel excel in every part of life. Case in point, my eldest daughter had a sports day the other day. Now, she's in kindy, and there was a race going on. And she did so well. She was having a great time, great positive experience, which was the whole point of that day. However, I couldn't help but feel after it was over that I wish she had come first. You know, it doesn't matter though, right? I mean, she's not going to look back on this day 20 years later and go, man, I could have been an athlete if I just came first. It's not going to matter. Right? This is not going to matter. So what is it? This is not her issue. It's not her issue. This is my issue. I am projecting this idea. She doesn't need to, you know, my wife, she tells me, she knows I'm wired like this, she tells me, it doesn't matter if our kids get X, as long as they love Jesus. And I'm thinking, why not both? But you know, if I indulge this and project this on my child, I will mess her up. I will mess her up. If I force her, if I impose upon her this idea, this picture of success upon her life, even right now, she's probably going to grow up anxiety-ridden, a perfectionist, not a great thing. She's going to think that I need to strive to be better and better and better because that's what it means to have value in this life. That is not going to be a blessing. That's going to be a curse. I'm going to mess her up if I indulge this picture of what success looks like in my head. We kind of know this. If you indulge this picture of success and a good life on your terms, you're going to mess your life up. You're going to mess your kids' life up. You're going to mess your marriage up. You might attain it eventually, but you're going to lose so much more in the process. That's what the story shows us today. And so, church, are you willing to experience true blessings? Are you willing to, if you really believe that you are blessed already, then are you willing to let go of the picture you have in your head, that which you are instinctively striving for, and lay down before God? Because you know what, for some of you, you think if I was only prettier, I would actually enjoy my life. Are you willing to set yourself free from that? Are you willing for God to set you free from that? That thing that was just been holding you down. And go, no, I'm already blessed. I'm already blessed. If only I was more charismatic, then people would actually like to talk to me. No, you are already blessed in Christ. And you follow Him, you will experience true blessings. You will experience true hope. You think that you had this. If only you were this, you would be blessed. No. God is saying, you are already blessed because you are my child. Just follow me. Just trust in me.